Hello and welcome, this is rooflemonger, and in this video I want to talk about Scorpion. So Scorpion, he is basically the villain of Mortal Kombat 11. Let's just not mince our words here. When the game launched, a lot of people complain about Geras, complain about Sonya, complain about Erron Blacks, and there's always going to be someone to complain about any fighting game, right? That's just how it always works out, right? But where we're at right now, villain number one, person with the biggest bounty on his head, definitely Scorpion. And why is that? So Scorpion's got a lot of tools under his belt. He does have one of the best neutrals in the game, indisputably. If you're in the steering rage variation, he's got some of the best damage output with the buff on. It's really crazy. But are these things that make him a villain? Well, no, not really. A lot of people have really strong tools one way or another. A lot of people have strong neutrals. He's certainly not even contention for some of the most damaging characters when you have people like Baraka and Noob Saibot, right? But what is it that makes him a villain? And it's this. The thing he's had since 1992. Yeah, it's his literal, most trademark, most signature move. This is what's making him a villain. And why is that? Well, in this game, if you're not aware, if you haven't played in previous Mortal Kombats, it's a fair bit slower pace than previous Mortal Kombats have been. Much more in line with stuff like Street Fighter. Not to say it's a slow game, because I don't believe that for a second, but compared to like MKX or MK9, yeah, the game is definitely a slower paced game. And in a slower paced game, stuff like this basically becomes a lot more valuable, as it's an instant side switch and it's instant punish to any whiff, be it a projectile, being a little too slow from full screen, or if you actually just completely miss a button, you can get punished anywhere on screen, and that's why people are having a little bit of an issue with Scorpion right now. Now, if you've played any amount of online, you've probably seen the Scorpion that does this, where they just jump backwards nonstop, and all they're doing is waiting for you to do something. Could be you miss a string. It could be you went for a special move, and all they need is that one split second, and they can react and get their full combo. And that's frustrating to deal with here. Now, I got this little tagline here for my variation name. It's sort of a joke, but it's sort of not. This becomes exacerbated greatly in a high ping situation, or in a situation where you are wired and you're fighting someone who's on Wi-Fi. The time to react to stuff, especially, just the pure block, is this about 30 frames. And while that's certainly not unreactable in a stretch, the more delay, the more ping, and more all that kind of stuff, all these mitigating factors figure into it, the harder and harder it comes to react to it, especially considering it's a move you have to worry about anywhere on the screen. So another thing that makes this a bit of an issue, obviously there is tiers in the game. There's tiers in every fighting game, no matter what. Even the most balanced fighting games of all time, like say Virtua Fighter, there's still a little bit of tiers in Virtua Fighter, right? And Scorpion, due to the nature of the teleport, is kind of uniquely qualified to extra kick in the heads of the lower tier characters. So say we have a character like Shao Kahn here. So Shao Kahn here, unless you're in a very specific variation, the only real ranged option he has is the spear, right? And it's really not that good, because the one thing here is easy to react to, easy peasy. Scorpions anywhere like from far away, you literally will kill yourself as Shao Kahn for trying to do it. Like, it's very reactable, especially if you're in the air, as it does have some trouble hitting airborne opponents, so it'll just give you like that extra just little bit to work with, right? So the Scorpion that wants to jump back all day, it's even all the easier for him to deal with that. So while it sucks for you to play a low tier character versus a high tier character, so if you're Shao Kahn, you're fighting a Scorpion or an Erron Black or a Geras or whatever, I find Scorpion's ability to teleport takes away some of the very few tools you have to begin with, and that just makes it all the more frustrating for a lot of people. So am I saying Scorpion is the best character in the game here? Of course not, absolutely not. He's one of the better characters in the game, to be sure, right? And tournament results, he makes a very good accounting for himself, but he doesn't quite show up like a Geras or a Sonya would. But what he is just such a complete package. I don't honestly think he has a single losing match. I don't think there's a single match in this game where he loses, right? At worst, he goes even with most of the cast. And once again, in Wi-Fi, in lag, matchup dependent stuff, this becomes such a frustrating tool that limits a lot of your options. Like, once again, using the Shao Kahn example, all Shao Kahn can do is just walk forward and hope, right? And it's not like you really outfootsies Scorpion by any amount, because he can just keep walking backwards and then, just whiff punish whatever he does, right? He's uniquely tailored to just really frustrate a lot of things and kind of mess and disrupt with the flow of the game. Another thing a lot of people have issue with, and I'll try to help you on this one myself here, is the quote-unquote mix of Scorpion just doing the teleport and Scorpion doing teleport into the EX, right? Now, if you're not aware how to deal with this, I can totally see why you'd be super frustrated, as it feels like it's basically a mix-up if he does it or not. And if you're not aware of the trick of dealing with this, then, you know, well, then it sucks, right? But just let me quickly show you how to deal with this one here. So right now, I have Scorpion's teleport move set to random hidden playback. I don't know what's going to happen here. He's either going to go for the regular teleport or the EX teleport, and it's just, I don't know. I can't tell you, right? And I'm still going to be able to successfully punish both of them. That's a punish. 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 Now, how did I know how to deal with that, right? It's completely random, right? We got mostly regular teleports, but we got an EX teleport in there. So how did I know? Well, the secret is you can punish both with the exact same timing. So all you have to do is when you block, don't mash that button right away. You mash that button right away, you will get hit by the X version if Scorpion so chose to do it. What you want to do here is after you block, slight delay, and then go for your fast normal here of choice. So slight delay, and what's going to happen is this. After your slight delay, you're either going to punish him, or you're going to be able to visually see that he's going for the EX and you can keep on blocking and then punish that. It's quite simple. Now, you might want to practice it. Once again here, if you're not aware how to do that kind of stuff here, you go to record him doing that, record slot 1, slot 2, or whatever, how many slots you want. And then once you're done there, you want to go to playback here, and you can see here we got playback. And you want to do random hidden playback so you can't tell. Because if you do random playback, you'll be able to see which one's which, and you'll kind of screw yourself over because you'll definitely know which one's going to play out, right? So that is a way to practice it. I know it's frustrating, but that is totally beatable. Now we come to the next level here. When you fight Scorpion and you're fighting Reborn and not the other variation, Reborn has the teleport cancels. Now teleport cancel is... No, let's not miss words. It is stupid strong. It's really strong. It's really, really, really strong. Because you can do stuff like this. It's really hard to react to. So, say you see the cancel here and you're like, oh, I want to down one it or something, right? Like, I want to do my fastest possible move. And in response, Scorpion does this. And then he just whiff punishes you and goes from there. Now, in an offline situation, this is already pushing you kind of to the edge of reaction to deal with this, and online, Wi-Fi, laggy, high ping, basically impossible. For this one, I wish I had some sick tech to give you, but I kinda don't. The best thing I could say is, right after Reborn, Scorpion does his little teleport cancel, and if he doesn't down one you immediately, like you block and doesn't down one you immediately, I would just highly suggest just take a step backwards, because he's probably going to try to shimmy you, waiting for you to extend your button out. So don't fall for it like a dang sucker, because that's one of the strongest parts of Reborn Scorpion, to say the least. Now, one thing to note here, teleport while this is very strong, is certainly not infallible. While it does shut down a lot of traditional zoning, especially from full screen, if you're throwing a more traditional style of fireball at Scorpion from full screen, you're basically asking to get hit, because he's got all the time in the world to react to something like this, right? But a lot of non-traditional fireballs, a lot of non-traditional style zoning, they kind of don't care. Like this. Like, Scorpion, for the most part, doesn't have time to react to this. He doesn't have the long travel time for the thing to go across the screen. So, if you're Shang Tsung fighting Scorpion, and I know I said Shang Tsung incorrectly there, forgive me. If you're fighting Scorpion, you kind of don't have to worry as much. You'd certainly got to be able to aim your corpse drops, right? If you're missing them left and right, like, that ain't going to help you, right? But if you are most part accurate, any aimable move like this, could be like Scarlet's Blood Tentacle, New Era Geras' Sand Pillars. Aimable projectiles, for the most part, are pretty free to toss against Scorpion, as he really doesn't have the time to react to him, and 9 times out of 10, if he is, he'll probably get smacked out of the teleport, just because there's a lot less time to assess, see, and then do the motion and react to it. So, while not every traditional zoner can really do what they want to do against Scorpion, and pretty much by design, the teleport has always been meant to be like an anti-fireball style move, right? Characters that have aimable style moves like this, they can pretty much not have to worry about it too much. So in the end, what's the answer, I guess? Is Scorpion tearing up the tournaments? well, no, not really. He makes a good showing for himself, to be sure, but he's not tearing up the tournament. So obviously in an offline setting, it's not that big of a deal, even though it is still a little frustrating, and obviously can really come into play in character-specific matchups, right? Online becomes an issue, though, with a little bit of delay, a little bit of ping, and, you know, obviously the Wi-Fi and all that kind of stuff. And compounded with Scorpion pretty much being the single most popular in the character and by a wide margin, it really puts a magnifying glass on this issue, right? While it's fine for offline tournaments and high-level play, for, you know, not as high-level play, not as great connections, it becomes a legitimate issue. Like, people complain, and while people love to complain in fighting games, and I love to do it too, you know, I'm human, right? It's almost becoming a legitimate issue. Like, yeah, it's not going to be an issue at EVO or something coming up, right? But, you know, little Johnny's not playing at EVO. Little Johnny's playing at home, you know, anywhere from like 2 to 4 hours a day, and he gets mad at Scorpion, right? And everyone he fights is on Wi-Fi, and this, that, and the other. Maybe he's not playing the best character to deal with it. It can be frustrating. So what's the answer, I guess? It'd just be easy to say nerf, 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 right? But a lot of characters have to play Scorpion's game right now, and it can be flustering for a lot of people because, you know, a lot of people, you play your character because you want to play what you want to play, and Scorpion, just through the threat of the teleport, let alone actually doing it, right? Through the threat of the teleport alone, kind of dictates pretty much the whole game plan against a lot of the cast. I personally have seen a lot of proposed changes one way or another. Some people say make the move slower, and I don't find this an issue of reactability, because if he just does it, blocking it, for the most part, it works, unless your actions are quite slow or it's exceptionally laggy, right? And also, it hurts the move in doing what it's supposed to do, because it is supposed to punish your full-screen fireball, right? Like, you shouldn't do this random full-screen fireball at him, and it'll just make it worse at him doing it if you up the startup of the move. One thing I've seen, and I'm a little bit of a fan of it, is just make the move a high. So, as it currently stands, the move is a mid, as you can see here, so you can't neutral duck or anything. But if you just want to get in on Scorpion, don't have to worry about the rando, you know, 300 ping teleport hitting you. You can just kind of walk in and duck, and that'll mitigate or remove the threat of it. And I think that's fine. The move still does everything it has to do when you want to use it the correct way. It still punishes fireballs. It still punishes whiff strings, all that fun stuff. But in the very laggy rando situation, which is what causes a lot of people's problem with the move, if people can just kind of walk in and duck and remove the threat of being hit by the random teleport, I think that could help. Once again, it's a weird issue, because once again, this is his most signature move, and while it has been complained about in the past, usually in terms of laggy situations, all that in, like, say, MKX or whatever, I think it's the most complained about it's ever been right now, today, after so many years of being a thing, right? So what I would say is just, what would you guys like to see it done with this move? You want to see it not change at all? You want to see any kind of change to make it a little more fair? Or just, you know, hey, let me have at it in the comments, right? Because I just find it's a weird issue, because once again, this is definitely an online-offline divide. While Scorpion, strong offline, is not the terror he is online. And that makes for a weird little situation that we have. Anyways, once again, have at it in the comments, and that's it for this video. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this video has found you well. Go and play some Mortal Kombat.